Salam. So guys, today's lesson is about the addition polymerization. And by the way, today's lesson is about reaction between alkenes, which means double bond, okay? So first of all, we will start with what is the definition of polymer and why we call it polymerization in here and why it's addition as well. So the first definition for polymer, and you have to understand it, it's a long chain molecule made up of many repeating units. So suppose that I'm giving you a repeating chain like C and C and C and C, and all of these contain hydrogen atoms. So we can say this is a polymer in this case because it consists of many repeating units. We have repeating units in this case. So this is a polymer. Okay, but you just notice that the polymer is made of small units, or let's say small building blocks like this. So what we call these blocks in here? We're going to explain all of this stuff in terms of a real example. So let's start. So I have a compound of propene. Propene looks like this. It means 3 carbons, okay? And we have a double bond, then it will be a CH3. Here we have CH, and here we have CH2. So I'm going to make a polymer from this one, and I just want to explain all of these details that related to the addition polymerization reaction. So the first step in here, I have to change it to the form of let's say, this plate formula, okay? So it looks like C double bond C, all right? And here we have hydrogen, which is in here, you just noticed that. And we have another methyl group in this case, okay? Here we have CH2, we have 2 hydrogens. So once you change this to this one here, we can consider this molecule as a monomer. Okay, so this is a monomer. What I'm going to do here is making a polypropene. I'm going to make polypropene, which means I'm going to use the propene, but in a long chain with the small repeating units, which are propene. So once you have a molecule that contains double bond in here, then we can consider this as a monomer. This is a monomer between 2 carbons. Perfect. If you want to change this monomer to polymer, how can I do that? Our lesson is about the addition polymerization. So we're going to add, okay? But what are we going to add? We're going to add these molecules together. So what to do? According to what we learned in previous classes, carbon makes only 4 bonds. So if I want to make the addition polymerization, I have to break this bond in here. This bond that will be broken is the pi bond. So we will break the pi bond. Okay, what will happen as a result of breaking the pi bond? We will have the same molecule like this. We have hydrogen here, and we have CH3 here. We still have the same one, but without double bond. And here we have hydrogen, and here we have hydrogen. Okay. So what do we call this process? Or let's say, what do we call this when you change the monomer and break the bond in here? Once you break the bond, which is between the 2 carbons, you will have something called repeating unit. Repeating unit. But in this case, you have to represent it in a square bracket like this, all right? And you have to show me the bonds. You notice that that carbon makes 4 bonds. We have 4 bonds around each carbon. Okay, so this is the repeat unit, and you have to draw small n. Okay, so let's recall it again. We have monomer. The monomer consists of 2 carbons, okay? These carbons are bonded together with a double bond. If you want to change the double bond to a repeating unit, you have to break this bond, which is the pi bonding, and then you will get something that is called repeat unit. The repeat unit in this case contains only single bonds. Okay, all of the atoms, the carbons are sp3 hybridized, and you have to put them in a square brackets. So the only thing that you put in square bracket is the repeating unit. So what will happen if I repeat this unit a lot of times, or let's say 3 times? How can I draw it? And what do we call it after combining them together? I'm going to repeat all of this stuff 3 times. So we will draw the first carbon in here, 1, 2, this is the first unit. We have hydrogen here, and we have hydrogen. We have CH3. I just want to get rid of this. And here we have hydrogen. Okay, this is the first unit, by the way. Now let's bond it to the second unit. We have CH. Here we have H, and we have CH3. Okay. And let's go to the third one. Here we have C, and here we have H. And then we can repeat it again with CH3. What you see here, we call this polymer. And by the way, this is called polypropene. So here we have, this is unit number 1, and this is unit number 2, and this is unit number 3. So in this case, we have a polymer. There is no need to draw the square brackets for polymer, but you draw it for repeating unit only. So C, double bond C, and here you have chlorine atom, hydrogen. Here you have hydrogen, and here you have hydrogen. So first of all, you look at this compound. This is what I am interested in, and it is double bond, okay? So the double bond in here, this is called monomer, okay? How can I change the monomer to repeating unit? Repeating unit by getting rid of the double bond, and we can say like you have, okay, you'll draw like this, hydrogen, here you have Cl, and here we have hydrogen. This is the repeat unit, okay? You have to put it in a square bracket and put in here. And if you repeat this stuff, let's say several times, then you get something called polymer. So this is the only thing that you have to know about the polymerization reaction. Sometimes in the exam, they will give you the repeating unit, and you'll draw the monomer that comes from. So I just want to give you something like this. If I give you this repeat unit, and it contains C, and we have C, okay? And here we have CH3, here we have CH3, and here we have hydrogens. So if I ask you to draw the monomer of this one here, you just remember that the only difference between them, first you have to remove the square brackets, okay? We remove them. And then you have to show me the double bond if you want to change it from repeating to monomer. You have to make a double bond here, you have CH3 here, and you have CH3 here. You have hydrogen and hydrogen. So this is the monomer in here, and this is the repeating unit, and that's it.